I'm a little concerned at some of the conversations I've had here at CMX. When I told people this title, yesterday I had a few different responses. That doesn't apply to us because our topic isn't political. That doesn't apply to us because our members pay to be there. That doesn't apply to us because we use real names. I'm going to guess these people are not in this room. Maybe they should be. I've seen a classical music forum implode and destroy itself over an argument about conductors. I have seen a bonsai tree forum start giving death threats to each other based on the right way to cut their tree. I've seen people who have paid hundreds of dollars to be in a community behave atrociously to women in that community and feel they are more entitled to do so because they are paying. I have seen people leave the most vile comments and use as an avatar a picture of them holding their baby. I have seen attack ships on fire off the shoulder of a right... No, sorry, wrong talk. Now, it shouldn't be a huge surprise that these are things that happen. Now, I work on the Coral project, also known as Coral, so we supply comments for news sites. I know. And so what that means we've seen is exhaustively terrible behavior on some of the most innocuous topics because people are stressed, people are upset, people are coming into conflict with each other in our communities. We're not at the cutting edge. The very cutting edge of the worst behavior on the internet is video game forums. But we're the next level. And the next piece is probably coming for you. Now, it's important that you think about this. It isn't just something that you'll deal with it when it happens. I used to live in the Bay Area, and I remember that I had a go bag ready in case of an earthquake. Everybody I knew did, and many of you probably do as well. For that go bag, you're always told to put in the things that you value most and enough in there to help you survive. You need to think about the things that your community values most and the things you need for your community to survive in the case of something terrible happening. This talk is going to help you prepare your go bag. And as for the thought that what we do isn't political, what is the role of women in the brand that you work in or in the industries that you're talking about? What is the role of people of color? How accessible is that work to people with disabilities or people with low incomes? How much are the brands that you work for unionized? How much are these conversations that are being had, or are they conversations that you won't allow in your community? Because that itself is a political decision. Everything you're doing is political. And not preparing for what happens when conversations can take a turn, when bad actors can arrive, when behavior can shift, that is the biggest risk of all to your brand, to your community, and to your job. So this is the moment that you need to be thinking about this. And I'm grateful that you're here to do that with me. If you get it wrong, your community could implode. The company you work for could suffer huge financial costs. People could leave. Terrible PR for the work that you do. And the people who leave your community because they feel attacked or unsafe may fear going into any other community. So if you get it wrong, everybody else in this room is impacted by that work. If you get it right, then the people in your community will feel like you have their back. They will be more loyal to you. They will be more excited to be in this space, which is different from other spaces. They will trust you more. They will engage with each other for having gone through what has happened, and they will be a tighter and stronger community for you going forward. Now, there's a lot to learn about online communities and these kinds of things that happen. This is Sarah Kiesler. She was the lead author on what is a very good paper, Social Psychological Aspects of Computer-Mediated Communication. It was one of the first scholarly articles to really look at trolling on the internet and try to understand its patterns. It was written in 1984. We have 35 years of experience in this space. And she was talking about communities that were discussing computer code. So when we say this isn't going to happen to me, this has been happening since right at the beginning. And a lot of other scholars and thinkers are also looking and talking about this equally. Names here like Michelle Ferrier, Sadet Harry, Shafika Hudson. We have Sarah Jong and the Internet of Garbage. Whitney Phillips, and This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. She actually helped me with this talk as well. I highly recommend looking at these. I'm going to post a link to the slides at the end. There are links beneath this slide to all of these people and their work. There is a lot of things that we can learn from. And so what I'm going to do is share some of the things that I have learned from our experiences in comments and community, and from reading and studying and working with some of these people. And I'm going to do it with lots of lists, because I love giving lists, and this is an easy way for us to share information. So what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be talking about what trolling is. I'm going to be talking about how you can plan for it, and then how to act if it happens. So let's begin. What is it? Let's talk about 4 different aspects of trolling. The first one is behavior. What does the behavior look like? A troll is not a person. It is a type of behavior that happens. What are the goals of people who are doing this kind of behavior? What are they trying to do in your community? What is the impact if they are successful? And then what are the motivations behind their actions? Why are they even doing this? So let's start with behavior. Some of these you will recognize, and they're people who think that they're just being in the community, being normal, such as the self-righteous. We've probably all seen this in our community. Oh, well, you would have that problem because X, Y, Z, but I'm much smarter because of this. It's really destructive, and it's really unpleasant for everybody. Secondly, the disruptor. These are people who are really trying to derail the conversation, stop it going in that direction, and say, no, over here, we all need to talk about this. I don't want to talk about that. Over here, let's talk about why I don't like the system of login you have, or let's talk about, I don't like the color of that button. It's like, no, we're trying to talk about this, and people keep disrupting. There's the prankster. These are people who are deliberately coming in to try to have fun and make fun of the people in that space. Hey, have you tried Up Dog? What's up, dog? Not much. What's up with you? And yet, these people who are coming in to just be funny, sometimes they are funny, and sometimes they are incredibly disruptive because they keep trying to get laughs, and they're not trying to have your community succeed. The manipulator. These are something we're starting to see in internet comments, in particular coming from spaces like the Internet Research Agency in St. Petersburg, but also PR companies and marketing as well. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I used to think that, but have you considered this? Just look over at this. Maybe this person isn't as great as you thought. Maybe over here we should be doing this instead. And that leads into people who are impersonators. We're seeing this grow as well, and this is getting very insidious. On the right here, this is a discussion of Your Slip is showing. This is 2014. And these were white supremacist trolls on Twitter taking on the avatars of women of color and the names that sounded like women of color names in order to try and split people and their opinions of women of color on the internet. On the right here, on the left here, sorry, this is from 8chan. This is just from this year. Let's go on the internet and pretend that we're Jewish, say things that inflame liberals, so then liberals will get annoyed at them, and then we can say they're anti-Semitic. It's deeply dangerous and insidious. This is some of the worst of it. It can also be people coming in from a rival brand, from a rival company, leaving bad reviews on your website. That happens as well, impersonation. And then there is the attacker. I'm not going to give you examples of abuse and attack on the internet. You, I'm sure, have seen them and are probably traumatized for it. I don't need to add to it, but you know what it looks like, and we know it is here. So, these are the core patterns of behavior that we're seeing. What are their goals? What are they trying to do here? First thing for many people is prevent good conversation. I don't want this community to succeed for my own reasons. So I am going to stop it being good. I'm going to yell until people yell at me, and then we're going to have a yelling match, and everyone else will leave. Sometimes people want applause. I am the funniest person. Like my comment. Everybody like it. I am the funniest. Okay, that's not funny. Here's another funny thing. Here's an even funnier one. They're coming in to try and get recognition. That's connected to feeling superior. Sometimes they're coming in to say, you people are all idiots, and you are fools for thinking this way, and I am a better person. Oh, you found that hard. I found it easy. Oh, that took you 20 goes. I did it in 3. They're feeling superior. Sometimes they want to get people upset for fun, for the lols. This is how much can we wind people up? How much can we cause chaos? There are people who are very sociopathic on the internet. There is a small percentage of people, but the internet is a very large number. So a small percentage can still be hundreds of thousands or millions of people. And it only takes one really insidious person to damage your community. Change minds. Maybe you shouldn't be voting for this person. Maybe you should be voting for that one. Maybe you shouldn't be using this product. Maybe you should come over here and do that. Maybe you shouldn't be on their side. Maybe you should be on this side. And getting clicks or likes or hearts. Getting clicks, it could be because it's spam, it's marketing. Or likes and hearts because you get a dopamine hit all the time. The platforms are designed to say, hey, new like, hey, new like, hey, new like. Ooh, give me more, give me more. How many, how many, how many? And that's encouraging a type of behavior that is based around gaming. It's not, and gaming and based around being a casino. It's not based around good community interaction. So the impact, what happens if they're successful? People leave, first of all. I don't want to be in a space where everyone's like this. People get angry. How dare you? Don't do this in my space. This is my space. Creating chaos, everyone yelling at each other, or trying to start another conversation over there, and somebody else drags someone else in, gets a mention to someone who they're talking about in a negative way, and chaos ensues. Create paranoia. Are you real? No, you're a Russian bot. No, you're a Russian bot. People starting to be afraid. Well, how do we know you're who you say you are? There was the Jeremy Renner app that just shut down because every message that appeared on it said Jeremy Renner says. And so everyone was Jeremy Renner for a moment, which was very Malkovich, but not very pleasant for those who were saying bad things. Change opinions. Like, this can happen. People's minds can change. Maybe I shouldn't resubscribe. Maybe I should go to the other brand. Maybe they have a point. And make others behave like them. We are social creatures. We are used to taking cues and saying, oh, everybody in this room is doing this, so I guess I should as well. This is the elevator experiment. It's a sociology experiment. So a group of people who are in on the experiment all start in an elevator facing the back wall. And then someone else comes into the elevator, and they're expecting to face the doors, but I guess everybody's just doing this now. And almost every time people walk in, go, oh, we're doing this then. I guess we're doing this now. Because we're social creatures, we look for cues. And so this can happen within the space. So what about motivations? Why are people doing this? What is it deep in their hearts that makes people want to do? Yeah, don't waste your time. It's not worth it. You could spend days, years, months just trying to figure out why are they doing this? What's the underlying psychology? Are they being paid? Are they being not? You'll probably never find out. And even if you do, they may not know it themselves. And if they do, they won't admit it. It's not worth it. You can just be like this all the time if you're trying to figure it out. Just look for the behavior, what's happening, and then what do we do about it? That's what matters. Doesn't matter why. It's what we do about it. So here's what we do about it. We create a threat model. Now, this is something from information security in IT. This is kind of what it looks like. Don't worry about this diagram, but this is what it looks like in IT if you're trying to protect servers. This is what it looks like for you in your life. And if you don't take a photo of any other slide, I recommend this one. This is from the EFF, the Electronic Freedom Foundation. If you Google and search for your security plan or security plan EFF, you will find this. What do I want to protect? Who do I want to protect it from? What happens if I fail? What's the likelihood I'll need to do it? And how much trouble am I willing to go to make sure that happens? Do this for everything in your life. Do this for your house. Do this for your work. Do this for your computer. Do this for your community. So what does it look like with the things that we've already talked about to apply that? We have behaviors, we have goals, and we have impact. We have these 6 different behaviors. We have these 6 different goals. We have these 6 different impacts. Ooh, 6, 6, and 6. Let's get some dice. I mean it. We should get some dice. Roll 3 dice and then plan for it. Okay, a 2, a 4, and a 3. Great. A disruptor arrives to anger people for fun, and the impact is create chaos. Okay, so we've rolled that. How are they going to do it in our community? How will we know when it is happening? What are we going to do about it? Roll again. 6, a 5, and a 1. An attacker is changing minds, and the impact is people would leave. All right, how are they going to do it in our community? How will we know it's happening? What are we going to do next? Plan for it. Imagine yourself in that position. Try to do it yourself. Do what is known as a red team. Not these very friendly Canadian hockey players, but a red team is a way, it's from information security. A red team are people who try to break your system by using your system, and then they come back and tell you how they've tried to broken it and if they've succeeded. So take on that mentality. And the very best way to do that is to have people in your team who know what it looks like. Your best way to protect your users is to make sure there are people in your team who have suffered the experience of being attacked in multiple ways on the internet, because they have the knowledge and experience. They are able to say, oh, I got attacked this way. I have seen this. My friend, this happened in this way. We need to be able to secure people in this way and that. Having a diverse team, a range of people with different experiences who know what it looks like to be attacked on the internet, people who do not look like me and sound like me, is the best way to be able to do that. So what do you do when it happens? Well, the first thing is you need to make sure is that you have a plan and everybody knows what to do when it happens. They can break glass and immediately pull out the plan. What are we doing? This is happening. Who do I tell? How do I respond? What are the options that I have at my disposal? Can I shut the community temporarily? Should I? What message do I do? What do we tell people? Who do we recruit to help? Support your moderators, please. Please listen to them. See what they are seeing. These are the people on the front line who are closest to your community when things go bad. So support your moderators and never make a promise that you can't keep. I can't emphasize this enough. This is something that we call the community triangle at the Coral Project. It looks like this, and the way it works is this. You have to pick one side of the triangle. You can't have all three. So if you want a high-quality community, and you want to do it with few resources, you can't do that at scale. You can't. The software and the technology, yes, it's very smart. Yes, AI can help. We use a lot of AI in our work. It is not enough to do it with few resources. Or if you want scale and few resources, it isn't going to be high quality, and you have to accept that. Show this to your boss. Explain it clearly. You have to pick one side of the triangle. And one last thing I want to leave you with, which is this behavior that we talk about trolling, that is not the same as a person. A person is not a behavior. This was a very good paper from Stanford, and this was, anyone can be a troll. This is what it's discussing and emphasizing. It is about the behavior that you see. If everyone's facing the back, someone comes in and they'll face the back. If everyone is being horrific to each other, people will come in and go, oh, I guess that's what we do for fun here. I guess that's the way we behave here. Anyone can be turned. We use a lot in our system, this is just a screen grab from our back end, about ways of being able to figure out what's just happening recently. What are we seeing? Can we take action early? And the best action that you can take if you see somebody who is behaving badly, if it's an established member, someone who is paying to be there, someone you have good reason to believe has not just arrived to disrupt, this is the best tool you have. And this comes from Jessamine West, who used to run the community at Metafilter. The very best tool is this. Are you okay? Reach out and say, what's going on? Because here's what I'm seeing. Are you okay? And 90% of the time, people will say, oh, I am sorry. I am having a bad day. Things are going tough for me right now. I apologize. There is a human who is seeing me. I have been seen, and I will back away. And if they don't, then you know you can take action against them. But start here. Be a human, and remind them that they are humans too. So this is what we are trying to do. We need to plan for the worst. We need to know what happens when it does and plan the actions we take. We need to keep learning. There is not one way to do this. Every new platform, every new tool gives new vectors of attack, new ways to be horrible to each other, as well as new ways to connect. Every new way we build to connect is wonderful and also creates new ways that people could misuse it. So red team it, think about it, and help people in your community be their best selves. It is extremely important that we get this right. It is important for the communities that we serve. It is important for the people that we work with. It is important for the work that we do. We can do this. We just need to plan. Thank you very much.